Everything is love. There's nothing that isn't love. Even the confusion is love in one form or another. It's misguided.
Do you feel fortunate that you survived because the law is declared?
There was no doubt in my mind I would survive. I'm in harmony with the truth. I didn't kill anyone.
You told them to go murder. That's what they testified.
No. No.
Did Watson testify to that?
No.
Did Watson say that?
No.
Did he write a book and say that?
He may have said it in his book, after he
did.
convinced himself of it.
Yeah, he did.
But he said this basically, is this is what I thought Charlie wanted me to do.
He said he did it because he thought that's what I wanted him to do. I never told him to do anything. I told him, do what you know is right. Like I would tell any human being, do what you know is right.
I never told nobody, you go over and kill those people on Oscar.
When people come up to me and they ask me what to do, I say, you do what your love tells you to do. And then the DA said, well, Charlie was their love and he told them what to do. No. You read a newspaper and you look on TV and then you come and you see me and you want to call me what they told you. And you know that 99% of that newspaper is for money, not the truth. I never had long hair before I got busted. I never had a beard before I got busted. I went to shave and the guy said, no, you can't shave. I said, I need a razor to shave. He said, no, you can't shave. I said, let me get a haircut. He said, no, we don't want you to change your appearance. So when you put the camera first on me, you got long hair and a beard. First time in my life I ever had long hair and a beard. I got dealt the hand, hippie cult leader. What the hell is a hippie cult leader? Well, you want to be a hippie cult leader? Hippie cult leader, all right. Here's your family card. Oh, I'm the family, All right, I got family card, hippie cult leader. Mass murderer. Oh, mass murderer. 9 dead bodies. Now I got this hand. Now how would you play it? How would you play it? How would you play this hand? He stood in the courtroom and said, this man did this and this man did that, and you all believed him. He said, this man did that, and I said, Your Honor, may I speak? And they said, no, you can't speak. I said, Your Honor, I got a voice, let me talk. He said, no, sit down, shut up. Then he handcuffed me, take me to the back, whip my... What are you going to do? I come out and sit down, and I ain't going to get whipped again. I knew what happened. I could have defended myself, and I could have walked out of the courtroom. But they didn't want to do that. I didn't break the law. Judge knew that. But the people didn't want to hear it. The judge knew it. He washed his hands. He said, I know it, but what can I do?
Are you saying that they didn't do anything they didn't want to do?
That's it. That's it. In other words, if I'm with you, whatever you do is your business. I tell you, if you drink out of that cup, you're going to get so-and-so, and you say, well, roo-roo, and I say, well, that's up to you. If that's what you want. If you go ahead and do it, I mean, that's you. I don't break your will. The reality is they did what they did. They're responsible for their own actions. I'm responsible for my actions. What defense did I put on? What witness did I call? Did I call one witness? I never got to call one witness. You dealt the hand. You put me on Life magazine, had me convicted before I walked in the courtroom. You had what people wanted to buy. When they wanted to buy it, they didn't give a damn if they had to convict the district attorney. They'd have convicted the whole building to get that dollar bill going there. They had big bucks going there. He made 27 million, 100 billion. I'm bumming $10, $15 from my friend here. Now, how the hell am I going to control 35 women in 2 years?
Beats me, man.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying? In other words, the guys you're trying to make me into is impossible. What you're doing is you're creating a legend, you're creating a beast, you're creating whatever you are judging yourselves with into the word Manson. And that's not me at all.
Camera's rolling.
When you and Mel write a book, what are you going to talk about? What are you going to try to bring out in your book?
I never even thought of anything like that. I'd have to give that some thought. I was doing this on Mel's request. He wanted to write the book. I don't particularly care to explain nothing to you. I don't look up at you for any reason to bring my report card home anymore. Does that make sense?
Well, no, what I'm trying to find out is, what would you like to bring out in the book that can teach other people?
What can you teach other people?
That's what I'd like to know. What do you think you can teach other people?
That's what I'd like to know, too. I know how to be reborn and start all over. I start all over. I don't start all over with the same old, same old. I just start all over. Even though I might be old,
I'm still brand new every day because I do one day at a time, just like that old convict used to tell me. Isn't that what he used to say, Mel? One day at a time. So I've learned to live my life in one day at a time.
Is there anything you think you can pass on that society really is missing and that you can tell them about?
Society knows when it wants to know that it's just a jellyfish and is only controlled by the people who want to move the sheep around. They'll tell them anything. Everybody knows that everybody's lying. Do you know anyone that tells the truth? Can you trust a lawyer? Can't trust a lawyer. You can't trust. Who can you trust? The President, Nixon? Watergate? Look at where your children are looking at it from. Who can they trust?
So you would try to tell parents something about raising children?
I would try to tell the children how to help the parents.
How?
By realizing that the parent is the child. Because he doesn't understand the child, but the child understands the parent. I've had talk with little kids, they just tell the truth. No lie in them.
What do you want to point out in the book if you bring that out? What would you like to point out?
You people are on your road going where you're going.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't want to stop from going where you're going, I'm not going to stop you. You know, you're going to your destruction, not mine. I've already established mine. You know, I've already went through mine. I've been judged. The judge gave me 9 life sentences.
But hold a minute. You really are. But in your philosophical talk, a lot of people won't, it'll go right over their heads. That's what I'm trying to say. Put it so they can understand it in lay language. Can we do that?
Well, it's sad all over, really. You know, it's hard for me to express how much sadness that I've went through to reach this point of understanding that I'm now talking to you from. How are you going to help somebody that don't want help? Hit them in the head and make them do it?
Will your book do that? Will you try?
Will I try?
To explain that.
Will I try to help you people destroy me some more? Is that what you're saying?
No.
That's what I'm doing here.
Will your book help children? Help parents?
I don't know whether it would help anyone. I've never thought about that. You guys would have to show me what help is so I'd know what it is. You teach me, I'll learn. I'm just a little kid in mine. See, I've been in jail 30-some years. I never lived in your world outside. I'm like a little kid out there.
Will your life story help somebody else to understand how to proceed?
If it was possible to present everything that's came down in the last few years in the proper perspective, it would be advantageous to other people, I would imagine. But if they had eyes in their head and they could see under the bed, they'd see that heads of lead and eyes of wood. It doesn't really matter because rubber fingers is taking the hand off into the universe anyway. The level of comprehension that you hold in your mind is only taught you by a school book that's in a sorority house. My father jumps off the Second World War in the ruptured ducks that were in the little pins and the buttons, in Section 8 in the nut wards, and all the people that have gone crazy.
Your father was crazy?
My father was all men that I've ever met in prison. Mel's one of my fathers. Creepy Carpus is another. I learned something from everyone. The captains, the wardens, I never missed anybody. I learned as much as I could from everybody I could get a hold of. And I've never met anybody that I couldn't learn something from. But now that I have learned what I've learned, I don't think you people want to know what I know. You wouldn't like it.
Why?
Well, because it's not very nice.
Well, why?
because the people that you let run your lives aren't very nice. The people that govern you, the people that tell you people what to do, they're not good people.
Let me change the subject for a minute. You've been back.
So, where's the man that I was dealing with in this interview? Is it you?
Do I look like a man to you?
Well, where's the gentleman that I was communicating with in the letters?
A gentleman. I sent you a telegram. My name is Penny Daniels. I'm from Inside Story in Miami. You were dealing with...
This is Miami. They said this was France. Didn't he say this was France?
That's what they said over there, but then the information must have been lost, right?
Oh, you were under the impression that this was an interview with someone from France?
Yes.
No, this is Miami. Inside Story. You were dealing with Fran Myers, Justine Schmidt, and then I sent you a telegram. My name is Penny Daniels, and this is Dale West. Why don't you have a seat, Mr. Moore?
No, we'll finish. We'll get what we're doing here. What was the letter that you got? Do I get a roll of this film?
Do you get a roll of this film, a copy of it?
No. No, see...
I'm sorry, I don't understand your question.
See, what I did was I got a deal with this guy from France that he gets a roll of film and I'll do the interview with him, and then he gives me a roll of the film on the side. I get to do a half hour with him, and then I get a half hour of my own.
To make any statement you want?
Yeah, to send to this address here.
That was not I'm not the person from France, and we are not the station you're talking about. However, what is the address? I might be open to talking about it too.
Yeah, in other words, like, we already made a deal between Miami and me. They said that was okay too.
That could be. I'm not aware of it. What is the address?
The address is in Hollywood.
Hollywood, California?
Yeah.
Who is the person? Nick Bougas?
Yeah.
Who is he?
It's a Frenchman.
You want me to give you a tape of the interview that you do here and send it to this man?
I want a half hour off of your line. In other words, we're doing this for you. Then I want a half hour here for me. Why am I doing this? I have to carry... I'm not a celebrity. I'm not a person to interview. I don't like to play interviews. But I'm stuck under a game of ignorance. I'm stuck under little brain people, you dig? And I have to try to get around that the only way I can. The only time I can get unhandcuffed is when I'm here with the media. I've been 20 years in handcuffs. If that makes any sense to anybody in this world, 20 years in handcuffs, so he can play daddy. To you, I mean, get off that trip, get up off of me. And I'm serious. I said, get up off of me. You understand what I'm saying now?
I understand what you're saying, and I'd like to talk about some of these things.
Yeah.
Are you telling me, let's get this straight, Are you telling me that you'll do the interview, or you...
Yeah, I'll do the interview for you, and then I get a few minutes to send it to this.
No problem.
No problem. I figured that, that would be worth something,
Okay.
So...
Do you want to sit down?
Jamil, it's going to depend largely on what you say, Charlie, if we're going to allow it to exit the institution.
What do you mean? You're going to put your importance up over somebody like you're somebody? You ain't nothing but a lot, man. Sit down and keep your mouth shut. You don't run anything.
Okay, just let
You don't run a damn thing. You don't run a damn thing. You understand what I'm saying to you? You don't run nothing here. Whatever he's telling you, if he's putting his importance up over you, there ain't nothing over you right now, except my old lady in Florida. My old lady's over you in Florida. And that's the only thing that's over you. You take that all the way to Regan and his horse.
Who is your old lady in Florida?
Squeaky's in Florida right now.
And
they just took her from Kentucky. She's trying to get us a trial. We didn't get a trial. We didn't get our rights. We didn't get anything. We were tried by the news media. We weren't tried by the courtroom. The courtroom the news media was selling it. It was making money. They was buying and selling it. And when it's making money, they're going to sell it. They don't care who's got to pay the price for it.
But we had to pay the price for it, you know. I didn't break no law. Everybody in the world knows that. But it seems like these people around here, they can't get in their brains that I didn't break no law.
This was in 67?
Yeah, this was in 67.
You knew her before then?
I knew her in dreams. Her daddy's a rocket scientist. He makes rockets and Boeing aircraft. And I met her on a street corner. She didn't have no place to stay. Her parents kicked her out, you know. And I knew what her heart was and where she was running and what she was doing, because that's an old garbage can to me. I've run through that before. So I told her, no way. And she said, I won't put you back in jail if you don't break the law. If you break the law, you put yourself back in jail. And that's true, you know. So I said, all right. So I said, you give me your word as your bond, and your bond is your life? And she said, yeah, I give you my word, you know. I said, okay. So she hung around for a while. And the reason that there was a lot of girls around that place is because I play music. And I play pretty good music.
Do you play music now?
No, these jealous snake that's on top of me are lacking in manhood. So they don't want nobody like me to live. They do their damnedest to kill me every day they get the chance, you know.
You're not allowed a guitar then?
No, I'm not allowed anything.
Do you miss the music?
Yeah, that's what I live for, music, yeah.
How long has it been since you played?
Quite a while. They let me touch it every once in a while, but they don't want me to play. It's like everybody wants the attention. I don't want the attention. I just like to play music.
Why are you doing this interview, Charlie?
Because I can get another roll of film and send it down to Bogus, and I owe him a little something.
Is that the only reason?
And that my old lady's in Miami, that she's in Florida.
What has that got to do with it? What has she
Well,
been...
she'll see this, and she'll know that I'm still where I'm at in relation to here.
You call Squeaky your old lady. Does that mean you have a romantic relationship with her?
No, I don't play all that, you know, she's just a friend, what you would call a friend. She does what she wants, I do what I want. She's just a person. They say that I was a leader in a family of people, which is bull. That's bunk. I had a lot of friends because I play a lot of music. A lot of people like my music. And we were all friends. There was no such thing as follower, leader. There was no leaders or followers. There was just people, intellect, intelligence. There were people, intelligent life forms. And there was a bunch of kids who were working out their problems for that particular time in that particular space. And each had to do what they felt they had to do for the problems that they were working on, which really had nothing basically to do with me. I'm not of the 60s. I'm not a generation of the 60s. The 60s were little kids to me. The Beatles were like punk rock is to you. That's what the Beatles was to me. They, you know, that's not my era. My era was Bing Crosby. I'm 53 years old. I'm not a teeny bopper. But all the kids, they would come to me and say, we got no place to go. And I'd say, well, I got no place to go. You know, so they were throwaway kids, and I was a throwaway kid.
Tell me a little bit about your background. Tell me, if you could describe your childhood in a couple of sentences, how would you describe it?
I didn't have a childhood.
Tell me a little bit more. Tell me more about it.
I went to a reform school in '43, and I've been fighting ever since.
Was it as bad as you describe in the book that was co-authored by Newell Emmons?
That wasn't my book.
That wasn't your book?
No.
But what about the parts describing your childhood and your experiences in reform school?
That was him writing the book.
So
that had anything to do
the
with
part
me.
about that school in Indiana, that's not true, how you were treated?
Bits and parts of it are true, and bits and parts of it aren't.
Give me a hint.
He gets little information from other people. And anybody that wants to tell him something, and what he wants to believe, and what he feels will sell to the public, then that's what they'll write.
Okay, well, let's not talk specifically about that book then. Tell me how you would describe how bad it was for you in these reform schools.
A child don't know what bad is.
Well, he says in the book that you were raped, that you were beaten constantly.
Come on, man.
That's not true.
That's what he would like to believe. But
So-
ain't nobody can do that.
So you didn't have a lousy childhood then?
Yeah, I had a terrible childhood. But I'm from here.
In other words, it didn't get to you?
No, I've never sold out. They've never beat me. I haven't been beaten.
Tell me about your terrible childhood.
The child doesn't know what terrible is.
You don't want to talk about it, I tell you.
I'm telling you, a child doesn't know what terrible is.
Give me
What
a little
is terrible,
bit.
man?
Give me a little description of it.
What is terrible? You know, terrible. What does that mean, terrible?
I don't know. You used the word, so I'm trying to get you to
No, I
describe it
didn't.
to
He
me.
used the word in his book. I didn't. I'm not a sniveler. I don't cry. I don't snivel. I don't look for excuses to get off on other things. You know, I accept my position and I hold it.
Let me ask you something. How do you spend your days now, since you're not allowed to play music? How do you spend your time in jail?
Setting.
Just sitting?
Mm-hmm.
Do you do anything else? Do you read?
No.
Do you walk?
No.
At one point I read somewhere that you were making dolls. Is that
I do.
true?
I make little dolls, yeah.
Tell me about that.
I just started taking string and making little dolls and bugs and spiders and little, it's a new art form. I created a new art form.
Anything else like that? Any other things that you do in jail?
Yeah, I run an underworld.
You run an underworld in jail.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about that.
You don't see it? I fly birds. I look out for wildlife. I'm trying to redeem my trees. I have an organization called ATWA rolling now, trying to redeem life on the planet Earth from the people that destroy it.
Tell me more about that. Who's destroying the earth and why?
The things that we do as human beings that are accepted and called right 100 years ago have changed. Years ago we could cut down trees and we could afford an exuberant lifestyle. We can't afford that no more. We're running out of atmosphere. We're running out of water. Our water's becoming so poisoned and so polluted we're not going to be able to drink it. The trees are being cut down so fast, lumber companies are just... The United States is owned by foreign corporations. Nixon opened it up for foreign trade. And when Nixon opened up for foreign trade, the people of Europe and the common market and Spain and different places, they don't care about the United States forest. And in short, the United States has been sold out by people who really don't care for anything but money. I've had all the money in the world 3 times. I had to give it back to keep the game going.
What game?
The game. It's a game. Money is a game. It's only real to the people who work for it. The people that don't need to work for money, it's a monopoly game. It's a game of paper. It's all on paper. I've got a production company, and I've got a recording company, and I've got a mansion in Beverly Hills, and I've got Rolls Royces and Ferraris. I've got everything money can buy, but it's all on paper. Everything's done through the companies and through the tax loopholes, and the people that live on that level, they don't care about the average honest mule that just goes back and forwards to work. They don't care about the children that are in the streets that are thrown out of this upper echelon of existence. And then when all the children fall down into me, on my level, I pretty much identify with them because I was a throwaway also. So it goes to the point of, do you really care?
When you said...
And who does care? And if anybody cares, they're considered crazy. I've been 15 years in the nut ward for trying to stop the trees from being cut down, from trying to rearrange a lifestyle of a bunch of people who don't want to change. But they're going to change because the cold wind is blowing. You're going to change or there's going to be no life left on the planet Earth. And then there's a bunch of little people that are always trying to play act some sort of importance over the truth about what is rolling on the planet Earth now.